Hello, Professor Miller. My name is Nico Pacello. This is my final video project. Awesome. So today I wanted to talk about 4 key aspects of branding, all things that I did learn about in class, but I decided to pick 4 companies, really exemplify how they take these strategies and use them to improve their own business model. First and foremost, I'd like to talk about the psychological core in reference to the Jeep car company. I think they do a fantastic job speaking to the psychographics, the lifestyle of their target demographic and their target audience. All of their commercials emulate a very certain brand personality, and they do a great job developing brand equity by use of community building. Next, I would like to talk about the principles of social influence. I want to do a slight comparison between Beats headphones and the Bose headphones company, both competing for similar market share, both doing it in a slightly different way, and you might see that social influence start to give Beats a slight advantage moving forward, especially around Christmas time. Next, I want to talk about symbolic consumer behavior in terms of the pharmaceutical companies. Not necessarily one pharmaceutical company in general, but as a whole, I feel that they really do rely on symbolism when they're advertising their drugs to the consumer and creating a ritual. Pushing the consumer to, talk with their doctor about the product, initiate that point of sale. They all do it in a very similar way, and I think it's important to touch upon that in this here video. And lastly, I would like to talk about the De Beers Diamond Company. I feel that since their founding, they've relied so heavily on enculturation to create a story behind their product, to create a price point, a truly fictional price point, to create a frequency of how often you need to buy your diamonds, how much you need to be spending on your diamonds, what the diamond symbolizes, when in reality it's just a stone. But they were able to, through advertising, convince an entire society how they should be purchasing such a small stone. Alright, now let's take a step back, head back to the psychological core, and talk a little bit more about Jeep. So, a brand personality, very widely is known as the set of human qualities by which a consumer describes a brand. When I think about Jeep, I might reference the rugged brand personality of athletic or outdoorsy, and yeah, that could speak to a more suburban setting. Now, maybe for an urban family, an urban target market, they might be more of an exciting brand, spirited, young, up-to-date, outgoing. All things that Jeep really has done a fantastic job of describing themselves as through symbolic advertising. In class, we learned a couple of brand personalities might be individualism or freedom, maybe America's core values, or even the activities that an individual partakes in. These are psychographics. This is really what Jeep relies on so heavily because their target market is so responsive to having work-life balance, if you will. Now, I have an article here by Luis Carluana. She says, and I quote, "So marketers are not trying to sell the car so much. It's more about the possibilities that come from owning an adventurous car, a Jeep." Now, the brand personality helps create brand loyalty, brand preference when deciding between competitors, because we all know buying a car is a particularly big purchase that definitely takes some research. It's not a learn, feel, do kind of simplistic consumer hierarchy of behavior. It's, much more, there's higher purchasing intentions, and you're going to develop a favorable attitude towards a brand as you drive a car. So Jeep has to stand out. Now, I'm going a little off script here, but one of their most recent commercials, it's all about the song. And if you want to be you, and if you want to be do. Awesome. So we talked about the psychological core. Now let's talk a little bit more about the principles of social influence, particularly with Beats headphones. Now I quote from the lecture, "People follow the lead of similar others. The perceived validity or correctness of an idea increases as the number of people supporting the idea increases." With Beats headphones, they've taken a product with inferior specifications. I'm talking the actual quality of the speaker, the quality of the plastic, the durability, the ruggedness, whatever you want to look at. Inferior to Bose headphones, price the same. what they've been able to do by use of celebrity endorsers. They've actually created such a conflict that the NFL, who's sponsored by Bose headphones, will fine the players $10,000 every time they wear their Beats headphones on the field. However, players like Richard Sherman, Colin Kaepernick, and Cam Newton will still wear their Beats headphones every game. They'll take the $10,000 fine because they prefer the brand. Now, what do you think that does for the Beats brand? 3 superstar athletes. They're going to go out and be a brand influencer. They're going to go and show people that these headphones are actually not worth the $300 price tag. They're worth not $10,000, $20,000, but $10,000 multiplied by 18 games is $180,000. That's how much these people's headphones are worth. Not to mention the brand associations that you may have with a superstar athlete like Richard Sherman, a Super Bowl MVP candidate like Cam Newton. And realistically, even if the NFL does want to keep Beats off the field, continue to support their partnership with Bose, the younger generation is going to see this act as almost rebellious, adapt, continue to purchase, and continue to wear their Beats headphones because the brand personality and the number of people wearing them and the people wearing them that are also impacting this person's associations with the brand are going to continue to rise. And I guarantee you can find a pair of Beats under almost every child's Christmas tree this year. It's #1 selling item. You can check retail stores. And again, the specifications for the actual speakers inside the headphones are inferior to Bose. So I think it's also important to understand how consumers construct meaning. We talked a lot about the Beats headphones. I ranted a little bit. Now I want to talk about the pharmaceutical industry. There's a couple of bullet points in particular I want to read off your slides, Professor. Now, by understanding how consumers construct meaning, marketers can 1. Determine appropriate target markets. 2. Determine brand positioning. 3. Select appropriate images for advertising. And 4. Highlight important product attributes and benefits. The pharmaceutical industry uses the same type of scene behind every long-winded drug ad. Whether it be Flonase or Viagra or Mucinex or this, that, or the other thing, you either have the old couple walking on the beach looking happier than they've ever looked because they found this drug finally. You either have, the young family trying to start a family finally with pushing the stroller, got the dog with them in the park on a sunny day. Whatever drug you're looking at, whatever target market that drug appeals to, you're going to see that demographic pictured in the commercial looking happier than ever as if they've solved all their problems. Then the commercial is going to ask you with a call to action, go talk to your doctor, initiate that conversation, initiate that point of sale. They're creating ritual. When these drugs, I don't want to go too much into the patenting of the drugs, but say one particular drug brand has patented for 5 years, that patent runs up, another brand is going to come in, recreate the same drug, rebrand it, show the consumer again on a new commercial, and encourage them to now go talk to their doctor and initiate that point of sale again. It's a never-ending cycle of, we're going to build it, you're going to pay for it, you're going to be happier if you talk to your doctor. It's creating a ritual of always believing in the pharmaceutical industry, always believing in the next new drug, instead of actually looking at the ingredients, making educated purchase decisions. You're far more inclined to go based on the symbolic feeling described in the commercial aimed at your particular demographic. They've created a ritual where you watch the ad, you learn about the drug, you talk to your doctor, and now you switch from a medication that's doing the same thing for more cost year over year because your condition hasn't gone away. I'm not saying your condition is a fault of the pharmaceutical company. I'm saying that they've primed you, they've trained you to continue taking new medicine. Talk to your doctor. Initiate that point of sale. Let's increase our market share year over year while you are still purchasing their drugs. And finally, I just want to take one last example from the Culture and Society lectures. Talk a little bit about enculturation and how the company De Beers Diamonds has actually leveraged that to their advantage really since the founding of the company. What they've been able to do was take a stone that they mined in abundance. They started selling it initially for, relatively fair prices. They were kind of just sitting on the store shelves, though, because there was no symbolic meaning attached to the diamond. Why would somebody pay so much more for this stone? Why is it even necessary in society? So what they decided to do was create a story. Through advertising, they educated the consumer. When you propose, you use a diamond ring. Your 5-year anniversary calls for a diamond bracelet. Your 10-year anniversary calls for a diamond necklace, etc., etc., whatever it may be. They invented the anniversaries. They invented the wedding ring. They invented all of these marketing gimmicks, in my mind, that the consumer has adapted as ritual, as societal necessity, if you will. They honestly had a campaign where they advertised to the consumer and said, if you're going to buy a diamond ring, it better cost 2 months' salary because your fiancé is worth it. They used that guilt, if you will. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just a way that they were targeting the consumers and making them believe in a concept that was strictly fictional. I have a fantastic article here by Katie Horowitz. She was writing about De Beers Diamonds, did an entire piece about all of their propaganda and everything, and I found one quote particularly useful. In 1948, copywriter Francis Gertley struck gold with 4 little words: "A diamond is forever." The phrase positioned diamonds as both a metaphor for eternal love as well as a sound investment. Sales of diamond engagement rings began to climb, and the Air ad agency responsible for the slogan, tagline, I don't know what you want to call it in the 50s. They were responsible, and they noted that jewelers now tell us a girl is not engaged unless she has a diamond engagement ring. Rewriting the story of society. I could be with the same person forever with or without a ring, but now it has to cost just as much as my college education. Snarky? Yes. True, unfortunately.